Hello and welcome! Silrace here with parent info package for Darkest Dungeon. As mentioned in my channel info video, there will be one of these videos at the beginning of my Let's Plays. The idea being to try to inform parents and adults and other guardians out there of what kind of a game this is, what kind of hazards it might contain for anybody who plays it, and also what they can actually learn from playing this particular game. So let's get to it. Darkest Dungeon is a side-scrolling dungeon crawler game. Side-scrolling as in the way everybody remembers really old Super Marios. Your characters move from left to right on the screen, and as such it's not really mechanically very intensive game. It could be played by very young people. However, I wouldn't really recommend the game to very young people. While it does feature violence, it is very much a comic book violence. It's not really graphical violence. But the game does have dark undertones to it. You will very likely lose party members while you are playing this game. The characters you may grow attached to, and they may die when you're playing this game and never come back after they die. The actual characters you play while they are heroes delving in dangerous dungeons are not necessarily heroes. Some of them are plague doctors, some of them are grave robbers, and so on. As such, you could maybe say they are not heroes at all, in some cases. And that is one of the maybe driving forces of making this game interesting as well. Because it's not necessarily about good versus evil, but it's about homecoming. Because there is a story to this game which can be kind of entertaining to follow as well. Although that story is also slightly dark. And as such, because those dungeons are also filled with scary monsters, horrible creatures of all kinds, I wouldn't recommend this game to those who will have nightmares out of seeing these kind of creatures on a screen, so not for very young. However, the game is very game mechanic driven. There are deep mechanics here to be figured out. Systems and combos and things to learn on how to defeat certain kinds of enemies and how the combat mechanics actually work. So for anybody who is really interested in the mathematics, can be a very good game. However, if lacking focus, lacking concentration ability, this game may become very frustrating. It requires patience to play this game. With that all said, however, there is also of note that this game is very much a learning experience in risk versus reward. And that can be entirely translated into the real world we all live in. You can take massive risks in this game, sometimes you even get rewarded for them, but not all that often. And when you minimize the risks, you might also minimize the rewards, but you are more likely to get those rewards. And as such, the game is very much risk versus reward management, as can be the real world we also live in. And so much of the things you learn from this can be applied to the real world. As for the various hazards, the various younger persons playing this game might really come across, it really is the comic book violence, the fact that these are not necessarily true heroes, and also scary creatures in the dungeons which might cause nightmares for the very young. But for a little bit grown person, they are amusing and maybe slightly horrific, but not something we haven't really seen and experienced before from other media. hopefully this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll learn about risk versus reward while playing Darkest Dungeon.